And now, suspense.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Fox and I'm back with another Bookoff haul. This time around, when I went into Bookoff, I found a lot of really good deals. It seemed like a lot of their stuff had been marked down because I was finding a lot of 4Ks, brand new, still sealed, for $8.99. So I just had to jump on that deal and I'm going to show you guys what I picked up. So let's just get right into it. Let's get cozy. I know I am. I'm in my robe. I'm just chilling. I got my hair up in a bun. So that's how you know. If you see my hair up in a bun and I'm in a robe, I've got no other cares in the world. But thank you guys for clicking on this video. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment, ring the bell if you want to. That way you can be notified of all my uploads. So yeah, starting to do the whole like marketing thing. Typically I don't even introduce myself in my videos, but we're trying new things. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is Deep Impact with a baby Elijah Wood. I mean, the dude barely ages and still looks great now, but seeing like a tiny Elijah Wood in this is just kind of funny. It also has Morgan Freeman as the president, probably the coolest president in any movie.
Money, 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 money.
Because it's Morgan Freeman. People like to clump this together with Armageddon, probably because they have similar premises. Huge asteroid hurling towards Earth, and it's pretty much going to wipe out all living things on the planet. Deep Impact, I kind of lean more towards because it goes more of the dramatic route. There's a lot of moments that kind of tug at the heartstrings, and that's kind of what it's going for, is like a sort of real life or more emotional take on something like this. Whereas Armageddon kind of goes for the more action, disaster film. It is directed by Michael Bay. I've always leaned more towards this one. I think it's really good and it looks pretty good on 4K, so I was happy to grab that one. Next up is an animated movie that I streamed when it came out. It was fun. It's a fun little movie, and I mean, it was only like a few bucks, so I thought, why not? I picked up Scoob. At first, I will say the animation style didn't really gel with me at first, but then after a while I kind of got used to it. Some of the negatives I have about it is I do feel some of the elements just don't work. Maybe it's because I'm used to seeing Scooby-Doo as more of like a mystery thing. The whole deal is Mystery Inc., right? This one, it's more so of like an action adventure kind of superhero type movie. You get these new characters here that are, a superhero team, and then you have the Mystery Inc. team. Sometimes they feel like they're being pushed to the side. I don't know if that was their intention, but it doesn't really work sometimes. I mean, when you watch a Scooby-Doo movie, you're pretty much there for Scoob and Shaggy. So you do get a lot of that. But with the introduction of like all these new characters, I do feel like it gets a little crowded sometimes. And then the Mystery Inc. kind of just gets pushed to the side. But overall, pretty fun movie. Next up, this was brand new, but not anymore because I opened it. The Exorcist on 4K. This is my favorite horror movie of all time. I'm not a big horror movie fan. I've probably said that a billion times. But this one brings up very, very horrifying memories of me being a child and watching this.
Shit.
And then getting older and forcing my little cousins to watch it in the dark at midnight. So good times. Traumatizing family members. Good pastime. So I remember when this first came out, a lot of people were upset with the cover art. I don't mind it. I don't really see an issue with it. But then again, I'm not really like a person who cares about cover art. I feel like a lot of cover art is super lazy anyway. When I get a movie, they kind of go on the shelf and stay there. I don't, I'm not the type of person that'll just randomly grab a movie and kind of just stare at it for a couple minutes. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's good stuff. Maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe I'm the weird one who doesn't do that. But yeah, The Exorcist on 4K. I'm happy to have it. Next up is Blue Beetle. Got this one for $8.99. I don't know if you can see the tag there. There's a bit of a glare. But yeah, Blue Beetle. I found it pretty entertaining. It's one of the very last movies in the DCEU. It's definitely the outcast in those DCEU movies, considering it is part of that universe. James Gunn kind of pulled that out of his ass and said, yeah, Blue Beetle is part of the new DCU, but then kind of backtracked and was like, yeah, no, the Superman movie coming out, that's the very beginning of the DCU. But yeah, anyway, I found this very entertaining. I will say that I think the suit in Blue Beetle is probably one of the most comic accurate and best looking suits that I've seen in any comic book movie. We don't get a whole lot of very good comic accurate suits in movies. And that's just the harsh truth, because a lot of times changes have to be made because some things just don't translate to film. But I think that the suit in this movie is just perfection. Also, I really like a lot of the action scenes. You can tell that a lot of the fight choreography was being done by a stuntman or the main actor himself in the suit. But either way, it was somebody in a suit kicking ass, taking names, and I really appreciate that. And I do like the inclusion of Latin culture in this. It's the first time we've seen a comic book hero that is of Latin descent. And me being someone who speaks Spanish and grew up in a lot of those communities, I really appreciated that. There were some jokes in there that, unless you grew up in, you know, Latin or Hispanic communities, you probably wouldn't understand. But me being one of those people, a lot of the jokes are really hilarious.
Ooh, and my song too.
So I did kind of mention Michael Bay a little bit ago with Armageddon, and funny enough, I picked up his one of his latest ones, Ambulance, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul Mateen III. I had to read it because I wasn't going to mess that up, because I absolutely hate it when physical media collectors and movie watchers mispronounce people's names when all they have to do is read. So I'm kind of convinced that a lot of physical media collectors are illiterate.
Once there was
Today, Junior!
And if you are, there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of places to get help to learn how to read.
Get some help.
Anyway, Ambulance, Jake Gyllenhaal. Very fun movie. I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal really carried this film. And I think if it wasn't for him and his character and just how like eccentric he was, this would have just been like a generic, basic action thriller that probably would have went under the radar and people wouldn't really care very much about. But you can tell he was just having a blast with the character, and that made it that much more fun to watch. And this is one that I just recently watched. I picked it up from my local library on Blu-ray, and I had never seen it before, but I had heard a lot of people talking about it, and so I decided to give it a shot. And I ended up really enjoying it, and I'm kind of upset that I took forever to watch it. But it is Nobody, another one I got for $8.99. I didn't even know this had a 4K. So to find this with a slipcover was pretty awesome, pretty good condition as well. But Nobody was a lot of fun. As the, you know, typical John Wick comparisons. Anytime any action movie comes out, it's like John Wick-esque, or it's compared to John Wick, which is highly annoying at this point. But this one warrants it because some of the people that worked on John Wick also worked on this, so it makes sense. But I think it's able to stand on its own and definitely deserves the merits that it gets, you know, solely based on that it's just a damn good movie. But yeah, Bob Odenkirk is a seemingly, you know, typical suburban dad, but things start to happen and you start to unravel his past, and you start to figure out that maybe he's a little bit more than just your typical boring white suburban dad. And the progression of that from the character, I think, is like the funniest thing ever. The other thing that sets it apart from other, you know, John Wick-esque movies, that it has a lot of comedy that work mixed with you know, really cool action scenes that are very realistic. They're not, obviously there are some that are a little over the top, but they feel very grounded and real. So that was really cool to watch. So yeah, I'm a little upset that I waited so long to watch this movie, because again, I just hate it when people just compare anything to John Wick. So I was like, oh, another John Wick type movie, all right, whatever. So I kind of, you know, wrote it off a bit and finally took a chance on it, and I'm glad I did because I think it's awesome. And to find it on 4K with a slipcover for, you know, $8.99, that was also another win. Last but not least, this is still brand new sealed, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now, to find this for $8.99 still sealed with the slipcover was a really good find, and honestly probably the only way I would have bought it. I mean, I enjoy this movie, but it's not a movie that I have ever owned, really. I'm pretty sure I probably owned the DVD like a long time ago, but it was probably like a family DVD, so I didn't actually own it like myself. I never upgraded it to Blu-ray for some reason. I was always like, you know what, I'll probably just wait and it'll come along for a good deal. And it did. So it might seem that I just don't really like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but I actually do. I really enjoy this movie. It's very rewatchable. It's something that I remember really enjoying from my childhood. But the thing is, with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and along with like a host of other movies, they are so widely available that sometimes I feel like I don't need to own them because they're pretty widely available. A lot of times it's streaming on some place. You can find it at your local library. You can find it at, at a Goodwill. You can find it pretty much anywhere for a good price. So it's one of those movies that I never really had the urge to just really go out and be like, I have to own this. I don't know. And I don't even know if that makes sense to anybody. I don't know if anybody else kind of has that feeling or has those movies where it's like, I don't really care to own this because it's so widely available. Whenever I want to watch it, it's like readily available somewhere. All right, you guys. So that was my Bookoff haul number 2 from the Mesa Bookoff, the brand new Bookoff here in Arizona. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, I am Fox. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for sticking with me if you've been with me for a long time. Check out all my other videos. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. See you next time. What do you think? Should I bring back the robe? Should I just wear my robe in all of my haul videos? Maybe that'll be my gimmick, just wearing my robe in all my videos.